All right, maybe we do one more before we give up entirely on creating an Advent of Code library. Probably a fire hazard. Because your neighbors keep defeating you in a holiday house decorating contest year after year, you decided to deploy 1 million lights in a 1,000 by 1,000 grid. Furthermore, because you've been especially nice this year, Santa has mailed you instructions on how to display ideal lighting configuration. All right, how many lights are lit if we follow the instructions? Oh, okay. And the puzzle input is this. Yeah, okay. We did this with cubes in the 2021 version of AOC. So turn on, turn off, or toggle. Turning off the ones that were on and turning on the ones that were off. Yeah, so now it's a matter of, and then part 2 is probably going to be something that makes it grow exponentially, right? All right. I'm just going to comment on day 4 because the other ones go pretty quickly. And then I need to come up with a way to do this without having to run every single day. All right. AOC 2015-06. And this is 15.6. Okay. So I guess there's the puzzle input is all the commands. So the first thing to do is to write a parser, right? Okay, so maybe we can make this a general purpose thing. Can we do something that will allow us to, you could say just, read and parse. But then we need to be able to give it the different patterns to parse out. What would be nice is if we could generate like a list of commands, right? So we have an enum. Becky the guy, hello. Thank you for joining the stream. And RPWH _, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. If we had a command, right? And then it would be off, and it would be the x1, y1. Maybe we create a point struct. This would be something useful, right? A general purpose point struct. I64, y, I64. Or, maybe it would take a t. Right, and we can just say this would be a point of, and this is 1,000 by 1,000, and it doesn't go negative, so we could say usize, point usize, something like this. Oops, I missed this here. And then another command would be on, and another command would be toggle. And there would be some way to generate those. I don't know how that would work in a generic way. All I can think of is we can use the read lines. Use AOC lib read lines. .text. Did I save it? I think I don't know if I did. 2015-06.text. Okay. Downloads 2015-06.text into input. Git add input. Okay, so if we wanted to do this using Surdy, can it parse peak char? Surdy is not a parsing library. Yeah, so if we wrote like a parsing a parser, which already exists, right? But we can do it this way. Import deserializer. I'm a little lost here because this looks like we're just writing a deserializer with a name like this. Oh, I see. Okay. So you create your own thing with the input, and then it generates a deserializer, and then it has from string, right? That makes sense. And then we have a pub fun here, where T is deserializer. If the input is empty, we return OK, otherwise there's trailing characters. So we call T deserialize. And that calls these things. All right, so this is probably something to learn off stream then, rather than to learn on stream. Right. So I guess the easiest thing to do would be just to look at the beginning and then parse out the numbers. So what we can do is we can say if line.starts with turn off, then maybe what we can do is have an extraction. If we split here by if we just split by spaces, we have 1, 2, so this will be the third one and the fifth one, and for toggle it'll split on the second and fourth. Yeah, Sakar says split by space. Yeah, I think that's the most straightforward approach. And then we can just use the existing code we have. Starts with turn on to get the numbers. Else if line.starts with toggle. Else panic. Bad input. Problem solved. Okay, so we can start with a split. All right. Oops. Oh, I didn't return the this needs to be this here. Yeah. So we're not doing anything with it yet. Okay, so this split is here. Split space on char. Sakar says, oh, split from the back because, yeah, that's a good point. We could actually just look at the second entry, right? If it's off or on or not, neither off nor on, and then just go from the back. Can we look at that? If S of 1 equals off, will that work? Nope. Can't index into the value of type, but we can do a collect. Right? Oh, into a vector string. Nope. The value of vec string can't be built from strs. Oh. Map. This is again that thing I had from before that I was bugged by. Okay, so now if S1 is off, then we're toggling off. And so here what we need to do is create commands. And we'll just put all the commands in here. Right? Let not commands is equal to vec new. If it's off, then we're going to just, we need to create 2 points. So we need to create a parse point from S of 1 and S of 3, right? Point parse S of 2. Let start is equal to that. Impl point, impl t, point t, function parse s string into self, and then we just need to split it on a comma. Split values equal to s split a comma, and that needs to be mutable, right? Because that's a split. And then what we do is we say let x is equal to value dot parse value dot next unwrap parse t. Oh, right. So we can get an error here. Unwrap. Yeah. And then let y is equal to value next. Same thing. And then we just return self xy. It's a little sloppy. And it doesn't work. From string fromster is not satisfied. Is not implemented for t. So do I have to say that? Right? That's what we did from before. And this is actually a good use case for a general purpose thing, right? We can't unwrap. Oh, because, yeah, so we have that same debug issue, right? Can I put a where clause on the... Oh, I see. I put the where here. Interesting. And this is that same error string we had from the library. And of course, debug doesn't exist. Oh, no. There. Okay. And now we're missing the commands. And now point can't infer type parameter t. So even though we're not pushing it, that's why. If I say let end is equal to point parse s4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we say commands dot push command off start end. Can it infer it now? No. Oh, move occurs. I don't want to move it. Which means we can't move it here. There. Does this work? Who knows? What we can do, though, is print commands. Oh, let's get rid of this stuff here. Which means point needs debug, right? Okay. Nope. Oh, because of that. And can't be formatted? Wait, what type does this think it is? Oh, it's commands that needs to be. There it is. Okay. There we go. So if I say cargo run, what's going to be dumped out? Panic. Index out of bounds. Length is 1, but the index is 1. Oh, right. We need to double check. We need to check that we haven't hit the end of the line. For some reason, we get read lines doesn't. Right, we're going to get an empty line for the last one for whatever reason, and it shouldn't. We shouldn't have that. Maybe I can modify read lines to handle that then. Collect. Can I say filter? S.len. Oh, not S is empty. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, okay, so we're able to parse something. Let's see, does that work? 660.55 to 986 197. Yeah, okay, so that's all working. So now we just have to do all the others. Else if S1. Oh, can I match? Match S1. If it's off. Else if it's on. And everything else is a toggle. And we're going to push an on command. Otherwise, we're going to push a toggle command. And this is not 2 and 4 anymore, but 1 and 3. Nope, doesn't like that. Why not? Oh, I messed up the for loop here. There. Oh, okay. So I don't want to do that. I want to do this. Nope. Expected struct string found stir. So can I make this a stir? Yeah. And now I should get all of them. Yep. So we have, let's go to the top. Ooh. So we have an off, an off, an off, then a toggle, a toggle. Okay. I think it's working. And then on. Yeah. What do you think? Think it's working? Okay, so now that we have all the commands, part 1 should be just to run the commands. Let's get rid of the println. And, I mean, the commands are pretty obvious. Toggle on, toggle off, or, sorry, turn on, turn off, or toggle. So, we have a grid, 1,000 by 1,000 grid. How do we want to store it? Do we just want to create a two-dimensional array? Like that. Oh, I have it wrong. False. False. 1,000. Oh, how do you do this? I have it backwards, right? Like that? Yeah, okay. And how do I initialize it to something? I mean, how do I guess I can just toggle each one, right? Oh, and this is not. Okay, so, oh, right. And now we want to return how many lights are lit. So do we want to do it this way then? Because this means parsing the entire grid and looking for it. Or we could store it as a hash set and then count at the end. Let's do it this way for now. and then see what part 2 is like. Right, that's the answer, and then we can just return that back. Bang, format, bang, count. Mut. Okay, so now we're just going to go through each command. For C in self commands, like that, match C, off, P1, P2. And now all we're going to do is say for X in P1.X through P2.X, for Y in P1.Y, P2.Y, grid XY equals false. And then on is the exact opposite of that. Oh, I have to do commands, right? And true. 2 colons. It doesn't like that. Oh, command. And C. Oh, right, we don't have toggle yet. Okay, so command toggle P1, P2. And this is slightly different because now we have to have an if statement in here. So this is what's going to make it very slow, right? If grid XY, oh, we say grid XY is equal to not grid XY. And that needs an arrow. Okay. What's the new from string? Oh, that's day 5's new from string, and it's the reason it's not. Okay, so we can fix that because it's only used by the test code. So. Okay, cargo run. Release. So we got a number, and it went pretty quick. I thought it was going to be slower because of all the... It's got a million things to do, but it's not the right answer anyway. Oh well. What did I do wrong? Oh, I have to include the starting and ending part. I forgot that. It's inclusive. And of course, this is too soon. Too soon. "17 seconds. All right. So I wonder what part 2 is going to be. I mean, what else can they do? Make it a bigger grid? Or make it 10 times bigger, and then you have to multiply everything by 10, so now your code takes 10 times as long? I don't know if there's any... I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now that would allow us to speed things up. The only thing I can think is maybe a better storage. You just finished implementing your winning light pattern. You realize you mistranslated Santa's message. Each light can have a brightness of 0 or more. Phrase turn on actually means you should increase the brightness by 1. Phrase turns off actually means you should decrease the brightness by 1. Phrase toggle actually means you should increase the brightness by 2. What's the total brightness of all the lights combined after following Santa's instructions? Oh. Okay. So part 2 is a little different. we can do this still. Instead of using false and true, we're actually just going to have numbers. And then the answer is going to have just the sum. Okay, so let's just use this as a starting point. This is going to be 0. I wonder if it can go negative. Lights all start at 0. So I'll say 0 U32, and we can change it to an I32 if we see issues here. Turn off means decrease by 1. Yeah, so it can go negative because some of the things is right off the bat says turn off. Okay. And then turn on is plus equals 1. And toggle just means plus equals 2. Okay, and then here, what we're going to do is we're going to count up the total brightness. So instead of checking to see if the grid is there, we just say count plus equals. Oh, how did this not work? Oh, yeah, oh, that's right. That's right, because it goes 999. Count is plus equals grid ij. This is probably easier to do with a sum somewhere along the line. Grid.iter. Let count is equal to grid.iter. And that's an iterator on that. Iter? Oh, okay. Map. Line. I want to add them up, right? So we want to say sum of AB. I can never do this off the top of my head. I don't know why. A plus B dot iter dot sum. Because B is a single grid entry, right? Oh, it isn't. What am I missing? Rust. Iter sum. Example, hello. There's no example. Fold. Our PWH says fold. Yeah, what I'm trying to do is, I thought you could just use this, yeah. Oh. Yeah, I thought there was a thing that does it, but I think you're right. It's still unknown. Because we need to start with a value. We have a starting value, and then which is 0, and we should just be able to sum it up. And why am I having brain problems here? Oh, right, I'm missing the init. Yeah, now it's an I32, and it's an array of I32s. Yeah. So I should be able to do it this way, right? Oops, I missed that. And that, no, that needs that, right? Oh. Isn't this a, because this is this, right? So we should be able to iterate over that and get a sum of all of them. Do I have to do this? Oh, okay. Not sure why I couldn't figure that out on its own, though. Everything else was an I32. But the answer is too low anyway. So let's take a look again to see, can this go negative? Lights all start to 0. Yeah. Okay. Maybe what we do is put this back in and then just compare the two answers, right? Println count 1 versus count. See if they come up with the same value, because that'll tell us if we did that right. Oh, I took that out when I did the undos. It's the same number. Okay, so that means maybe there's something wrong in this logic here. Off. Decrease brightness lights by 1 to a minimum. Ah, there you go. So these can be a U32. RPWH says, I think you need to guard against negative brightness. Yep, that was it. So what we need to do is what, a saturating sub? Hello? At the numeric bands instead of overflowing. Okay. So it's just saturating sub 1. Oh, right, and then all of these are U32s now. And then we have a warning. Oh, I have to set the result. Okay. Grid XY is equal to. What's the warning? What's the error? Okay. Oh, I broke my window here. Let's try again. Oh, extra bracket. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't type. There we go. Okay, so let's see if this is a better number. It's bigger. And that's the right answer. Okay. Sakar says check sub. Yeah, check sub will give you a where is it? Check sub. I can't spell. There it is. It returns a none if overflow occurs. I just want to have it hit 0. So saturating sub will hit 0 and stay at 0. A check sub will return none if the subtraction couldn't work. Whereas a saturating sub will return 0 if you're trying to subtract 0 beyond an unsigned number. All right. Again, I don't see anything here that would be genericifiable. Although, as Asakar said, we could create a little library, a parser library, that'll allow us to parse input like this, because this is not the only time we're going to ever have to parse input with pairs of numbers. So that would be a handy thing to have. This point thing would be a handy thing to have as well, including a little parser for it. You give it a comma string and it generates this. So this might be nice to put into the library. The command is unique to this. So why don't we refactor that? Source lib. Grab this real quick. And move the point and the implementation of point into the library. Even better would probably be a point file, right? Rather than here, let's create source point and see if we can get, oh, darn. There we go. And then this is also going to need from stir, right? And debug, right? Oh, right. And then this is just going to have to be and then this needs point. Nope. No point in root. Okay, so I wanted to, by putting it here, doesn't this, I don't have to do that, right? No. Okay, so somehow I want to get this point to be re-exported here. How to export Rust functions from a child module. No, mangle. What's that got to do? Oh, because of the C thing. Yeah, I thought this would do the trick. And this is the lib. We have pub use point star. And inside the module, point module, here's, oh, I'm an idiot. There we go. And now parse needs to be public. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we could do a range, right? We could have point have a range. Pub fun. How do you do ranges in? I should be able to return a range, right? X range. Self. Range. T. I do that, and then say self dot. Oh no, you can't do. I'm thinking of the full thing, not the. So I'll just make these pubs. Problem solved. What's the warning? From stir is no longer needed, right? In this file. Because we moved all the parsing over, and we don't need that, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's see what Clippy has to say with all this disaster we've gone through. Oh, bacon, and we can do Clippy, right? Okay, so let's start with these things here, and then we'll call it a stream once this is all wrapped up. So I don't need ampersands on these guys anymore because it's stir, right? Line. Interesting. Oh, that's the wrong. The variable x is only used to index grid, right? That's what I want to use it for. All right. Well, let's take a look at this. Let's status. Let's commit these changes. Git add source. Git commit. 15 day 6. And then we can just work our way through all the Clippy stuff real quick, and then call it a stream. All right. Oops. 34. Doesn't need to be a D. You can use a slice directly. Oh, okay. I don't have to convert it to a vec is what they're saying. 05. Line 51. I can just do that. Okay. Oh, find bad contains, right? Okay. If D, yeah, contains bad. Okay. Then next is here. Loop X is only used to index grid. So they're saying do this instead. Actually, I want to get rid of this because I think count 1 and count are the same now, right? We were able to do it that way. And then what they're saying here is instead of doing this, grid itermute, take p2x plus 1, skip p1x, and then just set those to false. I understand. I would never come up with this on my own. Right? We're going to take this many, and we're going to skip the first P1, right? And then we set those. Nope. G in this, and we can just say G is false. Oh, I guess we still need the 4y. But then it's going to say that, oh, G. Right? And now it's going to say do the same thing for y. So for gy in gx.itermute, take p2.y plus 1, skip p1.y. And now we can just say g y is false. Star gy is false. There we go. And then we can do the same thing for the other guys. True. And then this is going to be not gy. Okay. And now here, right, okay, so we can do the same thing that we did down here, is just sum them up. Maybe I just copy that. All we're doing is summing up the bools, right? The count is equal to iter fold a. Oh, right, so it's going to be a and then b iter map x as u32, right? Because we have to map x, which is a bool, into the u32. Cast through raw pointer first. Oh, you can't map. You can't convert a bool. Oh. To a u32. I thought you could. You can. Okay. And then we have the same thing here. So we'll just do that. Oops. To y. What? There we go, finally. Okay, and then this is just gy is equal to gy.saturating sub 1, right? Doesn't like that. Oh. Like that? Okay. And then, so here, this becomes plus 1. becomes plus equals 2. Right, and then, oh, we have one more issue in main. There we go. Okay, and now if we run it, it should give us the same answer. I think those are the same answers. Let's find out. Uh, 4,000, or yeah, 400,410, and then something 601. Okay. All right, we didn't break it. Oops. All right, that was a little bit of a rush there, but there we go. We got it at the end.